Did you know that Las Vegas has such a large Hawaiian population? It's known as the ninth island. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm speaking with Kalani Heu, president of the Las Vegas Hawaiian Civic Club, to learn more about Hawaiian culture in Las Vegas and where to find the best Hawaiian food locally. It's Thursday, October 3rd. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. So, first of all, people refer to Las Vegas as the ninth island because of this big Hawaiian population we have, but some people dislike that nickname. So what's controversial about it?
What causes the most stress among the community is the fact that we are very ingrained in our upbringing that Hawaii is such a staple to us as a community that for anybody to think that anything would come close to Hawaii is very hard for them to accept, right? I've been here 31 years, so I was raised out here. I moved off island and to Las Vegas when I was 11 years old. I was born there and I was raised for a little bit of my life there, but I do have a lot of Hawaiian lessons and Hawaiian history that was taught to me. We can bring a lot of Hawaii to Las Vegas, but we can never bring Hawaii to Las Vegas, if that makes sense.
So why are so many Hawaiians moving out of Hawaii?
There is no rent control in Hawaii. Hawaii is, I think, among the top 5 most expensive places to live in the United States. They're up there with New York City, which, as we all know, is a very, very high cost of living. Hawaii, not only do we not have enough jobs to support the living conditions, we also don't have enough space, right? So because there's not a lot of space, they're usually building houses. First floor is the original, and then the second floor becomes the second generation of the family. Then we start to branch out or branch back. So there's not a lot of space to grow, which means that the land gets ate up pretty quickly and it becomes very, very expensive.
We're not the only sort of density of a Hawaiian population within the United States, but why has Las Vegas become a destination for many Hawaiians to make a home away from home?
So traditionally, we do like to gamble, right? We are people who do like to gamble, very much so.
I had no idea.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. It's huge. In fact, my mom was a compulsive gambler.
Oh, that's not good.
She had to go to meetings for it. She had to get over it somehow. But when we moved to Las Vegas, and this was back in 1993, I believe. So when we moved to Las Vegas, it was crazy cheap to live here. You could sell a house in Hawaii and come out here and buy 2 or 3.
Wow.
Right? How things have changed is a little bit different lately since we've had the Raider Stadium come in, all the different influx of hotels and city center and all those things have kind of caused Vegas prices to jump. Now, people like California, and there's a large population of us down in San Diego, throughout Southern California, some in Northern, a lot of people in Washington. We have a lot of people in Oregon, but Las Vegas just made a lot of sense. We were close enough to the ocean that it wouldn't take too long to get there. It's not what we really call an ocean, but we're close enough to the water if we got to get to the water. But, it was cheap. That's really what it was. It was cheap. There's gambling. There's a lot of already Hawaiian cuisine out here. So there were restaurants already established out here in Vegas. So by the time my family got here, I don't know if most people don't remember it, but it was called Hawaiian Hale. It was on Valley View and Sahara.
So it's the cost of living, it's the community, but also that there was already some community and culture here. It was a chain migration too. And I know too that California is famously the Hawaiian casino. And what I didn't realize is that it was since the opening. It didn't evolve that way. It was built to appeal to Hawaiians. How do you feel about casinos marketing specifically to Hawaiians?
I actually appreciate it. And I think I appreciate it because I live here, And I think the Hawaiian community back home appreciates it too, because you can get a decent price room. It's funny, California Hotel, the reason why a lot of Hawaiians went there or even stay in downtown versus the Strip is there's change machines. They like to hear the bing, 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 right? They want to hear the coins drop. They want to hear the action, of the machine. So it brings me to another staple restaurant that is still around till today. It's called Aloha Specialties. It's on the 2nd floor, and it used to be in the corner next to all the change machines. So you would get like Hawaii food, right? And then you could come out of that restaurant and there was actually gambling right there. So your family, when I was growing up, my mom would go gamble. I would stay in that restaurant and eat while she was gambling.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you have to talk to David Figler, our other longtime Vegas resident, about how many steakhouses and coffee shops he hung out in while his dad was working or his parents were gambling. I feel like
Oh
it's
yeah.
such a longtime Las Vegas story. Do you have any specific food memories of Aloha specialties?
Yeah, actually. So I've met two celebrities when I was a child here in Vegas. The first one was Bette Midler, and she was eating at Aloha Specialties. A lot of
I've
people
heard
don't
that.
know Bette Midler loves Hawaii, everything about it. The second one has nothing to do with Hawaii, but it was at the MGM Grand when they used to have their theme park. I was walking in, Robin Williams was walking out.
Oh, wow. That's great. I love the Bette Midler memory, but I remember, what do you remember eating at Aloha Specialties when you were a kid?
So I normally eat the same thing every time. Back when I was a kid, it was teriyaki beef plate. So it
Mm-hmm.
was thinly sliced teriyaki beef, rice, macaroni salad. As I've evolved into an adult, my favorite plate and my favorite place to go for this plate is Aloha Specialties. It's their hamburger steak.
Ooh. Okay. So, I mean, this brings me right to my next question. Like, Hawaii is really diverse. There are native Hawaiians, and then, largely because of the sugar plantation system in Hawaii, there were workers brought over from all over the world, from Portugal, the Caribbean, the Philippines, Korea, Japan, China. I might be missing some places. And also like a little bit of food culture from the Pacific Northwest, too. So let's start with a little education for our listeners. What are some really traditional native foods linked to native Hawaiians?
Pork. Pork is a huge staple item for us outside of fish.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our traditional Hawaiian dishes made with pork is going to be lau lau. Lau lau is chunks of pork and pork fat and a piece of butterfish, and we wrap it inside it. So we salt it. There's no other seasoning other than salt that goes on it. You wrap it inside of what we call luau leaves. They look a lot like spinach when they're cooked down. They absorb water very, very well, so it almost turns mushy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you eat it, the only thing that flavors the pork is the salt and the fish that's actually wrapped with it, and then a little bit of the leaf.
Mm.
So lau lau is a huge staple item in Hawaii. Any traditional Hawaiian household, they either know how to make it or they know how to consume it, one of the two.
I mean, of course, if anyone has been to a luau, whether that's like a private party or like a public hotel luau, like one of the main dishes is a whole roast pig that's been roasted in an oven in the ground too.
So that's more the commercialized version. So
Mm-hmm.
the kalua pig, right, is what it's called. Kalua pig is cooked underground. We call it an emu. It's pretty much our version of an oven because there were no ovens back then.
Mm-hmm.
You dig a hole in the ground. You put hot lava rocks that you've had on a fire for a while, and those hot lava rocks go underneath. The pig is typically wrapped in some sort of a cage nowadays. Back then, it was just in banana leaves. Now they still wrap it in a cage. They still wrap it in the banana leaves. They cover it with a blanket after they put it on top of the coals on top of the pig, more leaf on top of the coals, and then they cover the blanket, bury it again. And then they cook it. They usually cook it for 24 hours.
Mm.
So they cook it overnight.
So, what's your favorite place for pork in the city?
Ooh, favorite place for I make it better at home. I really haven't
Yeah.
found one that I like. But if I had to name a restaurant, Two Scoops of Aloha, the owner's name is Shai, and her kulua pig is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She makes this cup called a tita cup, and it actually has a layer of rice, a layer of kalua pig, a layer of poi, a layer of lomi salmon, and then it layers all the way up, multiple layers of those same ingredients up until the top.
I mean, that sounds just about like everything you need.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a plate and a cup.
There have been other new restaurants opening up, including some Hawaiian chains too.
Yeah, so we actually presented Zippy's,
Zippies, yeah.
one of the biggest Hawaiian chains, right? We presented Zippy's with a wooden paddle for their debut when they first came out to Vegas. They gave us a $10,000 donation for the
Mm.
Hawaiian Civic Club.
Oh,
And the
great.
paddle that you walk in, so if you walk into Zippy's and you look left, hanging on the wall is going to be a paddle that was given to them by the Hawaiian Civic Club. It was made by a local Hawaii guy. His name is Hiro, Uncle Hiro. So
Mm.
he worked for the Carpenters Union out here for a very long time. He's retired now.
So paddle is in like
Like
canoe
canoe
paddle?
paddle. Yep.
So like Teapuke, like referencing the Wayfinders. Listen, everybody, you have to Google it. It's only a 20-minute episode, but learn your Hawaiian history.
For sure.
For sure. You also mentioned poi and lomi lomi salmon. Can you tell us a little bit about those dishes and maybe where you like to get them locally?
Sure. So lomi salmon, I go to Poke Express. It's probably one of the better poke places out here in Las Vegas. They're also they mimic what you can get in Hawaii, right? So if you walk into Poke Express, it looks like a fish store. They do have a lot of Hawaii favorites. You can get poi there. It comes in a bag, or they do mix it down for you. Poi is traditionally just taro root, pounded until it turns into a paste, and it's mixed with water, just to dilute it a little bit, so it's not chalk, right? Poi has really no flavor. It adapts to whatever you put it with. So it's a great palate cleanser for a salty dish like lomi salmon or kalua pig. A lot of people don't know this. Hawaii, we don't eat too much spicy. We do eat a lot of salt, though. Our sodium intake is pretty high. But that's because there wasn't a lot of ingredients to go ahead and season things with back in the day.
So we also talked about lomi salmon, which I do know a little bit of the history of this. I hope I'm not preaching to the choir here, but like I know that as more Hawaiians began working in the sugar plantations, they no longer had time to fish for themselves. And so salmon, which was a really unpopular food around the turn of the 20th century, was being preserved and then shipped into Hawaii, and that it was made into this sort of beloved like salmon salad.
So it looks very similar to pico de gallo.
Yeah.
Right? And lomi means to massage. So it's pretty much salmon massaged with salt. And then we mix it with tomatoes, white onion or yellow onion, and then green onions.
It's simple. And it's become, my point is that we have a native Hawaiian tradition, but because so many people have come and there's been so much outside influence and also a government overthrow, thanks to America, the food has changed. So, like, what are some, we've talked about taro, we've talked about pork. Like, these are very historically traditional foods to Hawaii. What are some dishes that have come sort of since colonization and since the plantation system that are now, kind of considered part of Hawaiian culture as well?
For sure. So everything that you hear that has teriyaki slapped on it came from Japan.
Some of your favorite. What are your childhood favorites?
Yeah.
Is there another dish that's sort of you mentioned macaroni salad. I feel like that's going to surprise some people.
Yeah. So macaroni salad is huge in Hawaii. It's a complement to almost every dish as a side. Most people who are not Hawaiian love it. Most Hawaiians love it. We make it a little bit different in Hawaii, depending on the family that you grew up in. Some people put potato in it. Some people put crab salad in it. So we mix it all together, but it's a big staple dish. It's made with eggs and macaroni and mayonnaise, right? It's a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and that's it.
thelist.vegas. It's the free Las Vegas events newsletter created by locals and curated for locals. From food festivals to family events, from burlesque shows to art exhibits, if it's awesome, it's on thelist.vegas. Every Wednesday, you'll get a list of cool things to do, dining deals, freebies, and other stuff right in your inbox. No algorithmic garbage or AI sludge here. It's 6 human curators handpicking cool events every week. The List.Vegas was founded by Andrew Corrali. He's a native Las Vegan, longtime local journalist, and, well, he's very popular. The sportos, the motorheads, the geeks, and me, we all adore him. We think he's a righteous dude, and he's a CityCast contributor to boot. The List.Vegas is a fun read for anyone interested in our city, and it's the best place to discover the coolest things to do in Las Vegas.
Looking at the history of the Hawaiian people, one of the things that I think is really amazing is how adaptable the Hawaiian people have been, and that they've taken a lot of things from American culture and Western culture and made it amazing. Quilting is a great example. But if we're talking about food, like I think dessert culture in Hawaii is pretty incredible. Everything from shaved ice to malasadas, which are Portuguese donuts. But pie, y'all are so good at pie, man.
Yeah, custard pie is a big staple. So if you go to Zippy's, you can get a custard pie. If you go to Two Scoops, you can get a custard pie. Chantilly cake is a huge staple from Hawaii. One of my good friends' wives made me a guava cake the other day, and she's Chamorro, so she's from Guam, right? But we have a lot of influx of all different. So the funny thing is, I have almost everyone in me. So I'm predominantly Hawaiian. I'm Irish, German, Scottish. I'm Japanese. I'm Portuguese. So I have a lot of different cultures in me. But also Puerto Rican is huge. Puerto Rican is big in Hawaii. So ganduti rice, which is a Spanish version of rice out of Puerto Rico. Also pateles or pasteles is what some people might call them. It's like a tamal, right, or tamale, and that's a Puerto Rican staple as well. So, all of those foods came to Hawaii as this melting pot because there was a lot of people that had to come there, like you said, for sugarcane, but also pineapple. Pineapple fields and
Yeah.
sugarcane fields, they brought in a lot of immigration to the Hawaiian Islands just because we needed more people to work these farms, right? There wasn't enough of us right now. So we had to bring in more people in order to meet the demand of what they were shipping out.
And it's made for an incredibly diverse culture and incredibly diverse food heritage, too.
Definitely. And a lot of people wanted Hawaii because it was great for trade and it was great for war. Those were the
Yeah.
two number one things why they wanted that chunk of land. I'm fortunate, and I'm probably a little bit different than most Hawaiians. I love that America got us because I don't know that it would have been better somewhere else, right? The colonization, and it was bad in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. Any of you Hawaiians listening, don't get me wrong. It was bad in the beginning. They tried to wipe our culture from the face of the earth, right? They all of our beliefs, any form of being able to translate those beliefs down to our next generations. They try to wipe that away. So for that part of it, it was terrible. But where we're at now as a island in the United States, it has its great moments and it has its not so great moments.
Hey, and speaking as an American, we could have been less of an asshole about it, too.
Agreed.
It's my official mainlander representation, and still could be. We could still be less of an asshole about it as well. So, okay, be honest with me. You've named a lot of spots where we can get a lot of great Hawaiian food, which is amazing, especially if someone hasn't experienced Hawaiian cuisine before. But honestly, what do you think of Hawaiian food as a whole in Las Vegas?
The fact that people out here can get a taste of what Hawaii is like, I think is amazing. You'll never be able to experience it the same way if you don't go. I think to experience Hawaiian in Hawaii is amazing. If you come out and live and you experience Hawaii, you leave with a sense of aloha that most people will never get to experience in their life. And I do have a lot of great friends that are not of Hawaiian descent who spent many, many years in Hawaii and came out here and they brought that aloha with them, right? And that's what I think the Hawaiian Civic Club represents so well out here, is we accept everybody into our club regardless. Now, you can't hold a chair position if you don't have the blood, but other than that, we accept you into our club. And our whole goal and focus is to perpetuate our culture.
So speaking of the Las Vegas Hawaiian Civic Club, you are throwing a big party this weekend. And if I am correct, it's in conjunction with First Friday down in the Arts District. Is that right?
It is.
Okay. What can people expect? Tell me more.
We're coming back here. It's going to be our 31st annual. We have a lot of different live performances. We rented a stage. We're going to fill in Boulder Plaza. We'll have 15 vendor booths out there, all crafts, food, information. We have a couple of huge organizations coming out from Hawaii to support.
Oh,
the
cool.
first one is going to be Bishop Museum. So Bishop Museum Curator is going to come out to First Friday.
Of Honolulu.
Yep. So they're going to come out First Friday and spend the whole day with us on Saturday. They're going to speak on the stage. I got to introduce them. Also, Hawaii family, an old Hawaiian monarch family called Kavananakoa will be out there. They're one of our huge supporters. They've given us a lot of money to sponsor scholarships and grants for perpetuating the Hawaiian culture.
So give me some details. What are some public performances that people should not miss?
There's going to be Nani Ola Hawaiian Dance Company. She will be opening up our ceremony at about 10 o'clock.
See some real hula.
Yeah, see some real hula. And then we have ST1 Reggae, Bounce Cruz. He's going to be performing on the stage. I'll have a Chamorro group out there dancing as well. We do have keikis or kids. There's going to be a halau out there with the kids dancing traditional Hawaiian music. We're going to have a ton of food vendors. Taverna is going to be also collaborating. They're going to feed all of our vendors, all of our sponsors, everybody for free. That's just donation.
Tell us what food we shouldn't miss, too. Who's going to be vending?
So I believe 2 Scoops of Aloha is going to be out there with some grab-and-go items. Tiare Norwood will be there as well, I believe, with an information booth. She's the person who runs Hola Hola Marketplace. We also will have a shave ice vendor. I cannot remember his name, but there will be Hawaiian-style shaved ice out there as well.
Great.
And then
So
we
fluffy.
have Crunch of Aloha, who has some grab-and-go items. He's got a lot of Hawaii favorites when it comes to the cracked seed that we eat, which are the little plums that we dry out and then have salt on them. lemon peel, chips. Sweet Kings of Las Vegas, she'll be out there, and she has the gushers that are infused with the lihimoi powder and the lemon peel. She has all those little Hawaii treats and candies. She'll be out there as well.
Okay, that's great. When should people be there? When is it running? Let me know.
So Ho'olalea 2024 will be at the Arts District, piggybacking off of First Friday on the 4th, Friday, October 4th from 5 to 11 p.m. And then we will close everything down. And Saturday morning, October 5th, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., we'll be running Ho'olalea all day. Come down, see us. You'll see live entertainment. You'll see great food vendors and craft vendors. There'll be some information booths. Stop by the restaurant at Taverna Costera, who's one of our biggest sponsors. Come check us out. Let them know that you're there with me, and then maybe we can get you something also.
Ooh, shout out Kalani. That's so
Shout
great.
out Kalani.
I will. I am so excited about this. And I guess what the question I want to end with here is, what do you think is important for Las Vegans to know about Hawaiian culture?
I think the most important thing that anyone should know, especially Las Vegas, is Hawaiian culture was built on respect. As long as you respect us and our culture, we will respect you. We're very, very, very kind people. We have a lot of aloha in our hearts. We have a lot to share with the rest of the world. We're all about spreading aloha in any way we can. And if there's a place that we can help, we will.
Kalani, that's awesome. Mahalo for your time. And I'm so excited for this weekend.
Thank you.
That's all for today here in CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, send it to a friend, and then we will see you at the festival this weekend. First Friday / Hawaiian Culture seems amazing. Don't forget to rate our show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.